This is Diane, and I'm joining the meeting. You're calling me unverified.
Hey, Diane, thank you.
to order. Madam Secretary, we'll have you read the preamble, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, December 8th, 2025. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that. Can we call the roll, please?
Or Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Mr. Madison?
Present.
Ms. Faith? Anderson. And Ms. Roca will also be absent this morning, Madam Chair.
Okay.
And Ms. Wilson.
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 3 members. With 3 members, we should make this announcement, Madam Chair, that to the appellants, they may request a postponement at this time, because with 3 members present, if the vote is not unanimous, then the vote fails and the variance is denied. So at this time, the appellant may request a postponement to a future date when we would have 5 members.
All right, so given that announcement, is there any appellant who would like to postpone their matter until such time that we have 5 board members present? If that is your desire, please let us know now. All right, hearing none, we're going to move forward. Are there any postponements or withdrawals today, Madam Secretary?
We do have one postponement, and that is calendar number 25-184 at 863 Herrick Avenue. Teresa Wakefield, owner, proposing to establish use as a residential facility for 5 occupants in a limited 1-family residential district. That the City Planning Commission is requesting a postponement to allow time for them to meet with the appellant and the council person.
Okay, is Teresa Wakefield present? All right, so we'll go ahead and postpone calendar number 25-184. We will not take testimony in this matter today. Do we have a new date for that matter?
Let's give them January 12th.
All right, so we'll hear testimony on this matter January 12th. So if you are present for this, you are free to take off. Any other postponements or withdrawals, Madam Secretary?
No, Madam Chair.
All right, so we'll go up to the top of the agenda. I'm going to call calendar number 25-217. Is there anyone present from Quality Homes of Florida, LLC? Okay, perfect. Come on up to the table. And while you do that, I'll have Ms. Holzer read in your case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first case is calendar number 25-217. This is at 15370 York Avenue. Quality Homes of Florida LLC owner proposes to change use of an existing 3-story 2-family residence into a 3-family residence, parenthetically an existing 2-family two-family dwelling and new dwelling on 3rd floor in a B1 2-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Madison for the oath.
Thank you. At this time, we'll swear in all those who are present for this case. We'll start here in the room and then we'll make our way to those who are online. At this time, do you swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, and provide an address for the record. Can you also just turn your mic on by pressing that button right there or turn to green? All right.
Dina Mahmood, and spell it Dina, MHMOUD.
And your address for the record?
It is the one I'm requesting. It's 15370 York Avenue Rear,
I'm sorry.
Cleveland, Ohio.
The address of where yes. Would that work, Madam Chair, or would you prefer a different address?
That works.
Okay. And then I do.
I do.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present for this case, online or in the room? Seeing none, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we go to history of the property, please?
Uh,
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that an addition was made to the property in 1921. There are no variances on file. And then in the more recent history in our Acela system, we see that in 2000, a certificate of disclosure was issued stating that the authorized use of the property is as two-family. And again, in 2005, there was a certificate disclosure issued stating that the authorized use of the property is as two-family. 2012, rental registration was issued to the property. 2016, permits were issued to board up openings on the first floor level. 2017, permits were issued to board up as well. Let me see. 2023, a lead safe certificate was applied for. The status is stated as inactive. And I see again, in earlier April of this year, there were board up permits issued to the property for openings on the property. And then in September of this year, a lead safe certificate was issued to the property. It was stated status as certified. And that's all that I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance and area variances from the minimum lot area and maximum gross floor area requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship, particularly to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. Under section 337.03C, the Board of Zoning Appeals, upon prescribing proper safeguards to preserve the character of the neighborhood, may grant special permits for the remodeling of existing dwelling houses or the erection of row houses to provide for more than 2 dwelling units, provided that the square feet of the lot area be allotted to each dwelling unit is in accordance with the area regulations included in Chapter 355. That the dwelling units to be created will not be smaller than 2 rooms and a bathroom, that there will be no exterior evidence of a remodeled dwelling house is occupied by more than 2 families, except as such may be permitted by the board, that the building, when altered or erected and when occupied, will conform to all applicable provisions of the building and housing codes, and the Commissioner of Building and the Commissioner of Housing so certify. And finally, the garage space or hard surfaced and drained parking space will be provided upon the premises for the cars of the families to be accommodated on the premises at the rate of not less than 1 car per family.
All right, thank you for that. I will now turn to you. Please state your name and tell us about your project.
Okay. Hi, my name is Dean Mahmood, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today on property 15370 York Avenue Rear. Quality Homes of Florida LLC is requesting variances to allow conversion of the existing 2-family home into a legal 3-family residence and to adjust the lot area and floor area limits so that the building can be fully utilized while remaining safe, attractive, and code compliant. Who Quality Homes is and what's our intent. We are a regional residential development company with an established track record in New York and Florida. and a strategic expansion now underway in Cuyahoga County. We will soon be Quality Homes of Ohio, LLC. We are long-term portfolio owners, not speculative investors, and we succeed by delivering high-quality housing, maintaining our properties, and being present in the communities where we invest. Quality Homes of Florida typically acquires its properties through tax sales and sheriff deed sales, targeting distressed or underutilized housing stock that can be responsibly rehabilitated and returned to productive use. This business model allows us to stabilize properties that might otherwise remain vacant or deteriorated, while creating safe, modern homes. Our standard approach is to exceed code requirements, modernize all building systems, and finish units with durable, high-quality materials such as hardwood flooring, solid wood cabinetry, and updated mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. The York project will be renovated to the same standard using licensed contractors and full city permitting and inspections. The property at 15370 York Avenue, rear, is currently classified as condemned by the City of Cleveland. However, a comprehensive structural assessment has been confirmed that the building is structurally sound and safe. The condemned status is largely due to the property's very previous vacancy and underutilization rather than any fundamental structure deficiency. Quality Homes is awaiting the results of the zoning board appeal before submitting the final building plans and detailed renovation specifications. Once variance approval is granted, we will immediately submit comprehensive building plans that detail the conversion of this three-family structure, demonstrating full code compliance for all three independent dwelling units. The approval of this appeal is the critical first step that allows us to proceed with the formal permitting process and rehabilitation work. The parcel at 15370 York Avenue rear is located in a two-family district within the transit-oriented development zone with a recorded lot area of approximately 2,728 square feet. The existing structure is a three-story building that currently functions as two units, but is physically well-suited to a true three-family configuration. The proposal of the floor layouts will be 846 square feet on the first floor, 846 square feet on the second floor, and a new one-bedroom studio of approximately 484 square feet on the top floor. This is approximately 2,176 square feet above grade, and the basement is currently 928 square feet and is reserved for storage and mechanical systems.
You said the third floor is how many square feet?
It will be 484 square feet.
Okay, and then how many rooms would be on the third?
Just a studio / one bedroom.
Okay, so if we count all the rooms all together, meaning kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, how many rooms do you have?
2.
2 rooms.
Yep, it will be a bathroom and then a studio with your kitchen and your bedroom, living room.
Okay. You can continue.
Okay. To ensure each household has independent, safe, and accountable services, the building will have 3 separate boiler systems and 3 separate gas meters, 1 for each dwelling unit. All electrical, plumbing, and life safety systems will be modernized to current city standards, and each unit will be designed as a fully independent dwelling, which improves tenant safety, management, and code compliance. Site circulation and parking have been carefully studied, and a site sketch shows how on-site parking is accommodated while maintaining safe access to the structure and respecting neighborhood properties. The project therefore improves both the internal safety of the building and the exterior functionality of the site. I have a new site plan that shows, I'm not sure if you guys have the updated one, and it shows 3 parking spaces in the back. And there's ingress and egress driveway, and I think that was already approved by zoning a couple years prior. Yes, on the side, the easement. And then there will be 3 parking spots in the back. Okay, we are requesting relief from the use restriction that limits 3-family residences to a multifamily district, to multifamily districts and prohibits them in 2-family districts in order to permit 3-family use at this address. We are also requesting relief from the lot area per dwelling unit and maximum gross floor area requirements because on this 2,728 square foot lot, the code would otherwise limit the building to fewer units and a smaller floor area than the existing 3-story structure can safely and reasonably accommodate. The variances.
Can you speak to the exterior of the property? Meaning, if you're looking at the property, are you able to tell that this is a 3-family or does it appear to be a 2-family?
This appears to be a 3-family.
Okay, are there 3 doors in the front of the house? Like, describe the way that tenants will enter and exit.
Yep, so the side entrance, which is the most easily accessible, has a doorway leading up to 3 different dwellings.
Okay, and then what about the front?
The front door has just the first floor entrance, but there's currently no steps, but we will provide them if so.
Okay. So it seems to me that it doesn't appear from the front to have 3 units if there's just 1 door. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have more? Or are you done?
No, I have some more.
Okay.
The property lies within the transit-oriented development zone, which stated purpose is to encourage increased housing density, walkable neighborhoods, and reinvest along transit corridors. Converting this underutilized 3-story building into a 3 legal dwelling directly advances with those TOD objectives and by adding a high-quality unit within walking distance of transit without creating a new building mass on the side. There's also in the area, there is also, I have the vicinities. There is about 4 within 2 blocks that have been converted to 3-family units. And one of them being right in front, directly in front of 15370 Yorick. It's the front building. So that is also a 3-family. And then there is 2, 3 more with just within a block. So, and this will be beneficial to the community because, you know, we're not just your regular investors. We will be code compliant. We will be present. I currently moved to Cuyahoga County to pursue investing in this area.
Okay. Can we have the legal standard on the screen, please? And while we do that, any questions from the board? All right, so here's your legal standard. We'd like to ask you questions regarding this. And so the first question is, if you do not receive this variance, meaning if this request is denied, can you describe the unnecessary hardship that's particular to your property to the board, please?
Unnecessary to me personally or
To your property.
to the property? The property wouldn't be using its full capabilities. You know, it's going to be underutilized.
Okay. And is there a challenge that you would face as a result of denial of the variance if that were to happen?
Yeah, I believe that, you know, the property, the Cleveland can benefit from this as well by increased taxing and
Particular to your property? So if you could just describe what that hardship would be, that would be particular to you and your property.
yeah, I think that we wouldn't be building up the community as much as possible.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, so I'm just looking at the parcel map. So do you own the front home as
No.
well? Okay. It was just curious, given that this is a separate parcel, sort of like a donut hole on that street. If there are any concerns, so there's an easement, but are there any concerns or conversations with the owner of the front home in case, anything were to change with that owner about access?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just
we
a-
we definitely have good communication. We spoke about, parking and my plans. He's on board with it. We already share the driveway and the rear of the first building, for parking and everything like that until I have 3 full parking spots available in the back.
And I heard you say that there's an easement, so you guys have that obviously documented for.
Yes.
And then is there will these all be long-term leases for the property? Is there any plans to use it for short-term leases?
This will be no short-term leases, only long-term. And we have a warehouse here, we have an office in Cuyahoga County, and we are starting to develop over here and expand.
All right, you all set, Ms. Walzer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I'll ask you regarding the second legal standard here. So in order to obtain the area variances, you have to prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings. Can you speak to that, please?
No, I believe because there is an easement already there, the backyard is already fenced in. We would just have to asphalt the parking spaces, and I think it would be beneficial for the community or whoever tenants that go in there. It's a TOD zone, and they'd be able to walk.
So I'm not sure that answers the question.
There would be no hardship for anyone. I think it would be
There's not
appreciated.
proof there is a hardship in order to get this variance. So can you speak to the hardship that you would face if you don't get the variances or the difficulty?
No, I think I'm just trying to utilize it as much as to its full potential, increase, profitability for us as well as the city of Cleveland.
And so if you're not able to do that, what difficulty will you face?
Underutilizing this property
Okay.
to
Any
its
other
true
question?
extent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off.
No,
Were
that's
you
okay.
done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Oh, Madam Secretary, please go right ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have an objection letter from the councilman.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get that up. Councilman Polensek writes that he does not support the granting of the variance at this address. Too often he finds that we receive these requests coming from out-of-town landlords who do not understand the dynamics of the neighborhood and why these are two-family residential districts, and all too often only look at these as possible income opportunities. Second, this creates a dense population situation without the resources to accommodate the extra family in the home, not built to house 3 separate families. So at this time, he cannot support the variance. Councilman Michael D. Polensek, Ward 8.
Okay. Thank you. Have you been in touch with the councilman?
No.
Okay. Any comments from city planning? Okay.
We do have Ariel Washington, the neighborhood planner for the area.
Perfect. I'll have Mr. Madison swear you in, and then you can give your comments.
Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, and provide an address for the record.
Ariel Washington, ARIEL Washington, 501 Lakeside, Avenue 501. I did,
And can you please turn your mic on there? Thank you.
yes. So I have not spoken with the applicant, but I believe you came in with a gentleman before or no?
No, but I
Okay.
did meet with you before.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't recall that. We had a couple people come in for a 3-family. I briefly heard that the councilman objects. I would be in support when I see the plans and everything. I don't recall seeing that, to make sure that the home is properly set up in regards to the egress, having a fire escape. How are things separately metered and things like that? How is there a parking situation? I haven't seen any of that information.
So she did provide testimony this morning that there will be 3 parking spaces. There's separate entrances for each unit on the side of the building.
Mhm.
And then I do believe we had a set of plans as well that were submitted. Yeah.
Okay. And if I may ask, since I came in at the tail end of it, what is the councilman's objection to it? I understand I know it's a 2-family zone.
Just briefly, Madam Chair, he seemed to believe that an out-of-town investor would not be the best thing for the neighborhood.
Okay. And do you have a local person?
Yes, I
Because I
am.
would-
I live in Cuyahoga County. I just relocated from New York to Cuyahoga County. I live right around the corner now, Cuyahoga County, and I'm the regional director of Quality Homes of Florida in Ohio. So I am full-time in Cuyahoga County.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or?
No other questions?
Okay. And does that change your position based on what you've heard?
Yes. I mean, well, no. Again, I was never against it. I came in just to share that I haven't seen these, like we haven't sat down personally
Mhm.
and went over this. I haven't seen a permit or anything. So that was my only thing. Long as everything is to code, I would be for it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the board? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, motion to approve calendar number 25-217.
All right. Thank you for that, Mr. Madison. Do we have a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
All right. Can we call the vote, please?
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-217 is granted. This will be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter. You can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. You're quite welcome. You are all set. Good luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
We're going to now move to the next calendar number. This is calendar number 25-218. Do we have someone present from Landria Properties LLC? All right, please come forward to the table. And while you do that, I'll have Ms. Holzer read in the case.
Our next case is calendar number 25-218. This is at 11103 Wade Park Avenue. Landria Properties LLC owner proposes to erect a 28-foot by 30-foot 2-story frame gambrel roof, detached garage in an AA1 limited 1-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Madison for the oath.
Thank you. At this time, we'll swear in all those who are present for this case, starting with those in the room, then moving online. If you can just turn the mic on by pressing the button. Thank you. At this time, do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, provide an address for the record, and I do. We'll start here with you.
Cheryl Johnson, 11025 Wade Park Avenue.
And can you please provide an address for the record? And I do. I'm sorry, not an address, but I do. Yeah.
I do.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
spell your name for us, please.
CHERYL
Thank you.
Johnson, JOHNSON.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. Sandra Robertson, SANDRA ROBERTSON, 1508 East 111th Street, Cleveland, 06. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present in the room or online that would like to participate in this case?
I'm present, Logan Schellenberger with Landria Properties.
Thank you, Logan. Can you please just swear in? Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, provide an address for the record, followed by I do.
Logan Schellenberger, LOGANSHELLENBERGER, 11103 Wade Park Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. I do.
Thank you. Anyone else present for this case? Seeing none, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have history of the property, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned one family, but in 1943, it was changed to the limited one family district. Our Records Administration Office shows that in 1910, a permit was issued to erect a two-story dwelling on the site. 1970, a permit was issued to erect a chain link fence. And then in the more recent history, Madam Chair, we see just some plumbing and interior alterations to the property in 2008 and 2010. And that looks like Landmarks approved this building application in September of this year. And thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances from the square footage and maximum height requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. We'll now turn to the project team. Which of you would like to speak first? All right, state your name and give us your comments.
Let me ask you this. Who do you consider the project team?
Are you the owner of Landria Properties LLC?
No, he,
Okay,
that's why I thought we were coming up here in the wrong spot.
okay. And so what is
The neighbors.
you're the neighbors? Okay, so you're here to speak as neighbors.
Yeah.
All right, so then we'll turn to Mr. Logan, who is the owner of Landria Properties LLC. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and tell us about your variance request.
So we currently share a driveway with our neighbor next door. I own 3/4 of it. There is a 3-bay garage back there, and I currently own 1 bay of that garage. And we would just like to put up our own garage. Olga, our next door neighbor, has expressed interest in buying our one bay of our garage and the driveway. And we'd like to sell that to her, and then, but before that, we'd like to just put up our own garage for a place to park our cars.
All right, and so the code requires that your garage shall not exceed 1508 in terms of square feet, and you have proposed 1524. Can you explain why you need to exceed the code in terms of the size of your garage?
We picked a garage that that the local historical district would approve because of how it looked. We knew that was important to them, and it's, I don't know what, 13 feet too big. We just wanted a two-car garage.
All right,
So-
does that conclude your comments?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I will now turn to either of you, whoever would like to go first. Just state your name and go ahead and give your comments.
Cheryl Johnson.
Okay.
My concern is, which way is he going into this garage? From the one way on 111th, or still going in that garage off of Wade Park?
Okay, do we have a copy of the drawings, and do
But
they
we never
show?
saw any of that.
Bless you.
That's one
Will
of the
be-
concerns.
We'll be coming in from 111th. We'll be selling the garage, the driveway to Olga, the neighbor next door. So we'll no longer have access to that.
Which let me just say this, because of the fact that well, I've been there like over 40 years. It's unusual to have another driveway coming into my driveway with it being a one-way street. And if he's given up his driveway going off Wave Park, and from what I understand, both of us have several family members, how will everybody park?
Well, the
On
garage
one
has
way.
the garage has 2 spaces inside the garage. My wife owns a car and I own a car, so that's 2 cars.
Mhm.
Then the driveway will have 2 additional spaces in front of the garage, so that's 4 total spaces for
How
2
would you-
cars.
How do you get
Hold
in?
on a second.
Oh.
We can only have one person
Okay.
talking at a time.
Okay.
Please continue, Mr. Logan.
So we are providing for 4 total spaces for 2 cars.
Okay. Do you have additional comments?
No.
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry,
No.
Mr. Logan. This was a question for Ms. Johnson.
We're 4 spaces from East 111.
There's 2 spaces in the garage. Inside the actual garage, there's 2 spaces to put 2 cars. And then the driveway can also hold 2 cars. We will not be putting any cars on the road, parking cars on the road. We'll
Well,
be
this
putting
is-
cars in our garage.
Is there an actual picture of the garage he's intending to build? Because I'm still misled about, because right now, there's only, the leverage coming out is only 2 cars. That's the garage right there?
Yes,
So you intend the whole backyard off 111 to be a 4-car garage? Not a
that's
2-car?
That's actually, each of those bays will hold 1 car. That's each door is is the size of 1 car. That's a 2-car garage. They're not a 4-car garage.
What's over the top?
That's storage. We have, between my wife and I, we have 10 children. They're all grown now, but they all want to keep stuff with us. And so their stuff will be on the 2nd floor there.
All right. Thank you for that. Do you want to give comment?
Yes. My name is Sandra Robertson, and I have been her neighbor for over 30 years. I own the property on the corner of 111th and Ashbury. My side house, which my primary residence, let out into 111th Street. The height of the garage concerns me. The house is deemed a 1-family house. I've been fed, it's a historical zone, but this young man wants to come in and put in something that's totally out of character for the neighborhood. I am a tar blooder. I bought a house in Glenville, and now things are changing that I was told it couldn't change. I still don't understand the meaning of mean height, but the additional height for his storage also leads me to believe it may soon be a roomy residence. I owned a duplex. I do have tenants, or did have tenants up front. When the parking situation becomes a problem, most of my tenants were students, so we didn't have many cars. But the other day I came home and I couldn't park in front of my house, which is on 111th Street, because of the parking. Apparently, this owner had company. That's not a problem. My biggest concern is safety. East 111th lets in one way coming off 111th Street. It's a throughway. all the way to St. Clair Avenue. People turn that corner. Ms. Johnson has a generational housing. Her great-grand and great-great-grand lives in that house. That driveway he's putting in, letting out on a one-way street, when they're parking there, is very narrow. People from Case who works there, people from the restaurant that feeds Case parks over there to get away from paying parking fees. So when they turn the corner and you have a parking or an exit that wasn't there, along with the hedges that are obscuring the entrance to his driveway, that's a big problem for me. I was in law enforcement for 25 years, and I can foresee a problem with that. I woke up the other day and there was a car parked across the sidewalk. His two cars were up in the driveway, but there was a third car that squirrels between the hedges where they opened it up and they've already poured the path for the driveway. That is going to be a big hazard, I think, because of the size of the street. How are they getting in and out? I don't know, because if there is a car parked at on the opposite side, the parking lane, they're going to have to wedge to get out or back out into traffic to get straightened up to go on about their business. That really bothers me. Okay. I think I've addressed everything that I put down there, but the biggest thing is with the neighborhood changing and quite a few people are renting their properties out as, housing for Case students. A 9-foot, my ceilings are 9.5, and he's requesting at that or a little bit less or more for his storage. I can see tenants going above that garage, and it would take away from the single-family house in order for this young man to make money in University Circle. That's my opinion.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any questions from the board?
Can I make comments to her objections?
Yes, I'll give you an opportunity in just 1 second
Thank you.
if there are questions from the board. No questions? All right, go right ahead, Mr. Schellenberger.
So when we have a garage up, there will be two cars in the garage. If we should have any visitors, they would park in there are two spaces in the driveway. Before we owned the house, the previous owner had 8 tenants living in there who were Case students or CIM students. We have nobody, it's just my wife and I in the house. There are no other tenants in the house. This is not designed to be for tenants. This is simply a place to put our cars. As far as parking on East 111th, yeah, we had people over from our church group, I think last Wednesday, and a few of them parked up the side of the street, and which is perfectly legal for people to park there. We have actually reduced the tenant load in the Wade Park area because before there were 8 tenants in that house, and now it's just my wife and I. We are accomplished drivers. We are able to park a car in a driveway, pull in and out without hitting cars on the street. That's pretty basic to driving.
All right, and there is a concern regarding the garage letting out onto East 111th, considering how narrow that street is. Can you speak to that?
Well, so when we bought the house, the hedges along East 111th, the previous owner has not maintained them for, I don't even know how long. My guess is at least a decade. My plan this next summer is to remove most of those hedges, restore the sidewalk that's currently there. There is a sidewalk there, but the hedges have all grown up against it. And so I will be cutting the hedges way back so that people can walk on both sides of the street. Right now, they can only walk on the other side of the street. So there will be increased place for people to walk, and there will be good sight lines coming in and out of the driveway emptying onto East 111th.
All right, thank you for that. Any comments from city planning?
Good morning. My name is Xavier Bay, representing City Planning. I'll just mention there is already an existing curb cut here, which seemed like it was already previously approved. Most of the variances we're hearing here are because of the height of the proposed garage and the square footage, and they're requesting a minimal variance for the square footage. I believe it's just about 20 square feet or so. Let me see here. And then the height, it's just about 4 feet of a height variance being requested. So we're in support here. It doesn't seem like this is too close to the adjacent property lines, and they're on a corner lot. For the storage space above the garage, if there is any intention to change the use to dwelling, they'd have to come back through this body to get that approval. Last thing I'll mention is that this was approved by Landmarks, so we won't comment too much on the design as it was already approved. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Bay. And is it your opinion that the height is in context with the neighborhood? I mean, it looks like the code allows 15 feet, but they're proposing 24. If I understand that correctly, is that consistent with the context of the neighborhood?
I will mention on my site visit, I did see a lot of the homes here on Wade Park Ave are rather grand homes. They're rather large. You couldn't really see any of the garage from the front of the home on Wade Park Ave. It is a bit larger than your direct adjacency, but further up and down the street, I did notice there are larger garages.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Any questions from the board?
Yes, Madam Chair, just a question, standard of practice to the individual that owns the property. If the variance is denied, can you speak to the practical difficulty you'll face with this particular project?
If the variance is denied, we'll have to find a different style garage that will meet the city's requirements. About 20 feet less square footage on the garage and 4 feet less tall is apparently what the issue is. So, you know, I've already bought architectural plans and paid money for an architect to put all this together for us. So what I will be out is the money that we've already put into planning this.
Thank you. That's the question that I have, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you for that. Any correspondence, Madam Secretary?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you. I will entertain a motion.
And Madam Chair, again, for the record, if in the future the owner plans on using this as a dwelling space, just reaffirming that he would have to come before this board again. So that's not by right at the moment. Given that, Madam Chair, I move approval of calendar number 25-218.
All right. Is there a second?
Board Member Madison, second.
Thank you. Can we call the vote?
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-218 is granted. This will be ratified next Monday. We will send the appellant a letter, but he can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
All right. You are all set. Thank you all for coming down to join us this morning. That concludes this matter.
Madam Chair, we have Councilman Bishop in the room with us.
Okay. Hi, Councilman. We'll go ahead and call calendar number 25-221. Is there someone from DMB Living present? Do we have a representative from DMB Living LLC? All right. I'm not hearing anyone. We will see if we can contact the appellant and see if they can come in to speak about this case, and I'll recall the case once we've done
I
that.
just want to express my objection. I'll send an email formally.
Okay,
Okay?
okay, that sounds good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm now going to call calendar number 25-220. Is there anyone present from Cleveland Muslim Community Center? Okay, perfect. While you come forward, I'll have Ms. Hoser read in the case.
Our next case is calendar number 25-220 at 4600 Rocky River Drive. Cleveland Muslim Community Center owner proposes to install 1,500 linear feet of 6-foot tall aluminum fencing in an A11 family and B12 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland codified ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Madison for the oath.
Thank you. We're swearing all those present for this case. At this time, we'll start here in the room and then we'll make our way online. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, and provide an address for the record. And I do. We'll start with you, sir.
Jim J.P. Potacek, Larson Architects, 12815 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio, 44107. I do.
Can you just spell your name for the record?
I'm sorry, P-T-A-C-E-K.
Thank you. We'll move to online. I see Rashida. We'll start with you, and then we'll move over to Jason. Again, do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? We'll start with you, Jason.
Yes, I do. My name is Jason English, 18331 Fairville Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio.
And can you spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's E-N-G-R-I-S-H. First name's Jason.
Thank you. We'll move on over to Rashida.
This is Rashida, R-A-S-H-E-D-A. Address is 7712 Roper Road, Parma. And I do.
Thank you.
Rashida, can you give us your last name, please, and spell it?
A-I-N-N.
Thank you, Rashida. We see Gina that has just joined the call as well. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Please say your name, spell your name, provide an address for the record, and I do.
Yes, my name is Gina DiBiasio, D-I-B-I-A-S-I-O. My address is 18331 Fairville Avenue. I do.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present? Seeing none, we'll turn the meeting back over to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Madison. Can we have history of the property, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally split between general retail and 2-family in 1929. In 1944, it was placed entirely in the 2-family residential district. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1952, a permit was issued to erect a brick veneer church. 1953, a permit was issued to erect a storage shed. And then in 2013, a permit was issued to erect a new building. There was a variance in 2008. Madam Chair, I should step back. There was a variance issued or granted in this, I'm sorry, not in this case, sorry. A permit was issued for alterations to change use from a daycare to a school in the building on the property. This board granted a variance, sorry, Madam Chair, there's a lot of information here. I'll just go back to the 2013, a permit was issued to erect a new building on the site. 2014, a permit was issued to erect industrialized unit classroom trailer. Second one was established in 2015. In 2016, a permit was issued for temporary use for 30 days for Ramadan celebration. It was a tent established, I believe, on the site for an 817% occupancy. Let's see what else is relative. 2017, a permit was issued to build a 204 space parking lot with 7 accessible handicapped parking spaces. Then I will also then jump to the most previous variance in 2022. This board granted a variance in calendar 22-031. to construct a building addition, including an 8,500 square foot gymnasium. And at this address, there were no conditions placed on that variance. And again, as I stated, Madam Chair, there are many interior, exterior alterations. So the property is over 100 other documents, but I think those are the most pertinent.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. So are you here on behalf of the Cleveland Muslim Community Center?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll allow you to go first. Go right ahead and give us your comments.
Certainly. Over the past 20 odd years, the mosque itself started with the existing school and has slowly kind of worked their way north. As part of our recent involvement, we were asked to help craft a plan for an addition for a school on the north side of the existing gymnasium. And as part of that entire complex, we were aware of some previous submittals that were trying to outline a new security fence that was intended to wrap the entire property essentially and unify what has been kind of a slow growth of the property in a more unified manner. The school approval process included us going to Far West Design Review and Cleveland Planning Commission. And as part of that effort, we received approvals for a masonry pillared fence with angled corners that have placeholders for signage and a aluminum fence decorative to kind of unify the whole thing. So at this point, we have Far West Design Review approvals. We have Cleveland Planning Commission final approvals, but the variances and the layout as previously submitted maybe 10 months ago and then resubmitted in a iteration didn't correctly align with what was approved by Far West and Cleveland Planning Commission. So our role is to come in here and try to broker this version, which then aligns with the previous approvals. We are seeking the exact same variances at this point, but just trying to square the circle, I guess, so that this all matches up with the design intent as well. The overarching hardship at this point, currently, the mosque is sort of protected on the exterior with a series of concrete planters. As this goes forward through the final phase of construction, the goal is to unify this with a more secure fence. We are changing the design to have a 6-foot high pillared condition at roughly 12 foot on center with a 5-foot ornamental fence, which brings the scale down a little bit in between. And then at the interstitial point of the fence, we're putting a steel bollard so that we can't have a vehicle impact at this point. The mosque and the community itself wants to be secure. No one's trying to envision something, but that ounce of prevention is part of what this is intending to do. And it unifies the streetscape as well. As this has evolved over time. So that's essentially what the role we were trying to play in requesting this variance.
All right, thank you for that. So we have others who have chimed in. I will go first with Rashida. Do you want to give your comments?
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to emphasize that the fence is because of the students in the school, it is for the enhanced safety of the students. It will protect the student from heavy traffic, allowing safer playtime and day-to-day activities. It will also prevent trespassing and after-hours entry, and it would be it will also create a safer perimeter for all our staff and students.
All right, and can you tell us your role with Cleveland Muslim Community Center, Rashida?
I work with Cleveland Muslim Community Center as a volunteer, as well as I am involved in the activities there.
Okay, thank you for that. Does that conclude your comment?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I'll now turn to Gina. Do you want to give us your comment?
Yes, thank you. So I just want to express my objection to the board approving this new variance for a fence because you didn't mention in the beginning, previous approvals, with other addresses that the mosque owns. But we live directly next to, a couple of lots they own that they demolished houses and were given a zoning approval back on July 1st of 2024 to put in a parking lot. So it's a parking lot that's directly next to our home. It's fully operational. None of the requirements set by the zoning board have been met, except for the laying of the cement. And this proximity to this parking lot is very concerning, like how that gentleman was just talking about a vehicle potentially hitting the mosque or harming someone. That's what we're living with right now, because all that's been done next door to us is the laying of the cement. There's no fence installed. There's no shrubbery to block the noise. And when I tell you it's close, it's practically in our front yard. It's like 5 feet away from our bedrooms. And the other houses next to the parking lot are also being adversely affected. It's been 18 months since the zoning board presented the resolution of the requirements. And like I said, the only progress has been is the laying of the cement. So every Friday we have people parking in and out of the lot, despite the safety hazards. Someone from the mosque put a chain up to block the entrance, but then it's removed on Friday and then people park there. And I'm just letting you guys know, it's not anything against, the mosque expanding. Like, I'm all for having them in the community. They're wonderful people, but it's very unsafe. I mean, nobody wants to have a parking lot next to their home. However, we've been forced to accept it. And even though none of the city's requirements have been fulfilled, I'm sure they're going to have excuses like, maybe the weather's too cold, the construction company might be dragging their feet, or whatever the reasons are. But you've had 18 months and you should be committed to this fence that you already said you were going to do, and that the zoning board, told you to do before you are able to put up another fence. I mean, you ensured the cement work was completed before winter, so you fulfilled the bare obligations and nothing else. And then I was in that meeting back in June of 2024, and the mosque leadership assured us the neighbors' needs would be met, and none of it has. This new fencing should not be approved, and it should only be approved after the parking lot fence is completed. Because like I said, it's a real safety issue, not only for our family, but the other families surrounding the parking lot. There's a second parking lot on Ferncliff. That one is just open with no protection for the other residents. And I just kind of wanted to make a point, and I don't want to sound negative, but I feel like we have no one to help back us up. And the mosque has an advocate in our councilman, Charles Slife, who's a member of the City Planning Commission, and he's knowledgeable about the laws. He knows how to navigate the approval process. But it's like when we reach out for help, no one responds. I've called the building chief like 4 times. I've emailed. I get no response. And I did ask Councilman Slife the one time. I was very upset because we had cars driving over our front lawn. And he had emailed me back, and part of his response was to tell me that I could put up a fence if I wanted to. And I just felt like that was very, I just feel like no one's listening to us and taking this safety issue seriously. So instead of stopping the illegal parking, the city issued permits back in March and again in May for special events. So we had cars all over the empty lots, like outside of our bedroom, literally a few feet. I just feel like the appropriate course of action would be for the city to enforce the existing regulations and prohibit parking until the parking lot is complete and safe for the surrounding neighbors. I just feel like if we need help, really, we're going to have to retain an attorney. We don't have the financial means that the mosque has. We're just, individual people and families trying to live here, and we just feel like we're being taken advantage of. So in summary, I guess I just am requesting respectfully that the zoning board deny this new fencing until what y'all put into place 18 months ago is completed. I mean, I don't think you should be approving another fence until the fence that's around the neighbors is approved. And that's all. Thank you very much for letting me present my concerns.
All right, thank you for that, Gina. I will give you an opportunity to respond, and if you could clarify, Are there two different fences being installed here, or?
If I may, we actually had no involvement in either of the two parking lots that are further to the west of the property. They were done independently and before our involvement in the project. But there are, I think, two homes that were raised that are on Ferncliff, which it sounds like the situation she's dealing with. And there's two that were recently also raised on Fairville, and then those were combined to create two additional parking lots that were sort of the after effect of they built the gymnasium. You need to find an offset for parking, no different than the school consideration had to be discussed as, well, where's the rest of the parking going? It was done with community meeting. We've been, active in these conversations specific to the school. My understanding, and I don't know the timing of the Ferncliff parking lot. I do know that just before, it might have been October, late October, they got the concrete in for the other parking lot that's on Fairville. So it could just be a timing issue that contractor who was late to start, from my understanding, just circumstantially, was not able to complete the work other than getting the concrete down. So it could just be that they are going to do it in the spring. But again, I can't speak to that directly, with apologies.
So the parking lot that you just referenced that has not been completed is separate from what you are going to enclose with the
Absolutely,
fence?
yes.
Okay, can you help the board understand where that parking lot is in reference to the one that you're proposing today?
Yeah, I wish there was a pointer, and I know there isn't. So,
I mean, you can feel free to.
if that's okay,
Please,
yes.
yeah.
I believe this is the one that's on Ferncliff,
Okay,
and then this is not updated, but I believe it's these parking lot, or these two houses that were raised and are now combined parking lot. They undoubtedly have fencing requirements, landscaping requirements as part of any, because they're directly adjacent to the neighborhood housing on both sides here. But again, I know that the houses were raised probably in the summer, just circumstantially, and then the contractor mobilized to put in the underground stormwater, all of that stuff, and it literally just got paved. I want to say it was the night of our neighborhood meeting, which was probably late October, early November. So I know that they're in progress. So,
Okay.
And with apologies to the process, I also know that, the community is not able to fund things unless people are generous as a, religious institution. So it could also be that the funds that were put aside to do so weren't arrived to start the project until late. And then just we're up against weather at this point. But again, that wasn't our involvement. I only know circumstantially some of the trailing effects of that. So.
okay. So the comments from the neighbor, she expressed that there are some safety concerns regarding the parking lot. Can you speak to that?
I don't know that I can. I do know that Friday prayer, they will probably utilize those parking lots, but I'm not, and again, I can't speak to someone driving over their lawn. That's ridiculous. That's an individual being reckless at this point. But, I know that the overarching goal for this proposal is that they're going to control access onto this. There's, I think, over 200 students right now at the existing school on the lower at the bottom of the thing, and then they're going to probably hope to grow the school by an additional 200 students. So you're talking about pickups, that happen, drop-offs in the morning, and then around 3:15, all of the line of cars for pickups. This is going to unify that. There is a playground that Rashida mentioned that's in the lower right-hand corner, right at the corner of Fairville and Rocky River Drive. That has an existing playground right now. So this new fence would greater secure that area. There's an existing fence there now in that corner view, but this would unify it all the way around. The school is going to have an area that will allow the students to go outside and utilize the space between the Rocky River Drive and the school as kind of an outdoor classroom area or playground area, or, just be outside and take a lesson outside. So this whole fence is really about securing this school environment at this point. So.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, Jason, you have the floor.
I think Gina wants to speak again first, and then I can go if you don't mind.
Gina has already given her comment, so I'll give the floor to you at this time.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll try to not be too emotional about it. That is actually my fiance slash wife. She's been the homeowner for a long time. I have lived there for the past 10 years, and we've dealt with this now pretty much since I've been there. Again, we actually don't live on Ferncliff. That parking lot and the parking lot on Fairville where I live, there's been nothing but, ever since you guys approved that to be done, there's been nothing but issues. Them from dropping trees into our yards and damaging our fence line. The parking lots have been done for quite some time. And just like when they were claiming that they didn't know people were parking down there when they were grass, they did know. And now they definitely do know, because we have video footage of everything that goes on there on my Ring camera, from them opening up the chain link fence little barrier that they have and letting everyone park there. When they pull in and out of there, they've almost hit their own kids leaving the mosque, walking down the street, going back home from whatever class or prayer they're doing. It just continue again. He just reiterates and rebuttals back down on the fact that it's about their safety. What about our safety? My granddaughter has had construction workers doing weird things over the fence line. My dog's going crazy. They broke my fence and a fence on a neighbor. I live, like I said, I live on Fairville, but there's a house that lives on Ferncliff that their backyard butts up to the fence line of where this parking lot was built on our property lines. Both of our fences were damaged. We have video footage, pictures. We have sent this stuff from the mayor on down. I talked to Captain Tucker before, and now he's not the captain anymore of our district, which is now Captain Simon, about this continuing ongoing safety issues, from noise ordinances that are being broken at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. It's been an ongoing safety issue with these parking lots. That's the main concern. We have no problem with them having concern of safety of the kids being down there and the people playing in the parking lots that they do every single day already, whether it being fenced or not. Because I live in the community. I watch the kids. I watch them safely play in the parking lot. They're not safe when they walk down the street next to my house, when people zoom in and out of this parking lot, that they now have a guard that unlocks the chain link fence on Fridays on Fairville and on Ferncliff. And when they did get the variance to park down there temporarily during Ramadan, on the last day of Ramadan, my neighbor Ruben, that lives diagonally across the street from me, was assaulted, and a female on the other side of the parking lot that's been built, Rachel, was assaulted, and a police officer had to come out, which is on record, that I had to go out and help the police officer because 9 men in a Sprinter van attacked my neighbor because they were parking on his grass of his knee. It wasn't in the parking. There were so many cars parked everywhere. And there's no care for anything of any children, let alone my granddaughter or my dog. We have no problem with a fence. We would just like an agreement when you guys approved, beknownst to the neighborhood who did not want these parking lots approved. When you guys approved it, the approval was along to go with these parking lots weren't supposed to be used until they were fenced and shrubbery and everything was done. It's taken 18 months almost for these parking lots to be done. The parking lots were done in plenty enough time, and they could have built the fences and the shrubbery before they even poured the concrete and started using the parking lot. I've done all this construction type of work myself before. I have family that does this type of stuff. There was no reason for them to start building all these parking lots, including when they did build a parking lot. We've now on record had the gas company come out 4 times because Councilman Slife and the city approved for our street to be repaved, which was really nice because we had a lot of really bad potholes on our street in our neighborhood. And they repaved our street. And in that process, then when they did the construction of the parking lots, they cut up our street and then broke the gas lines of our neighborhood. That it's caused a safety issue also, where the gas company, like I said, has had to come out 4 different times to tear this back up and fix the gas leak. This has been an ongoing safety issue. We just want the fence put up and the shrubbery put up before you go on and put more money into another project. I mean, we didn't want the parking lots to begin with, but it's a safety issue. These cars have parked all over our yards. They've almost hit my house numerous times. And it's just like, again, this guy's advocating, it's all about their safety. What about the neighborhood safety, including all the kids who go down to the mosque, who are walking down the street, almost being hit by these cars coming in out of these parking lots recklessly? It's not a one-off thing. This is every single day. You guys want to come down there, you want to stay, we have a 3-bedroom house. I'll be more than welcome to have any of you come down and stay at my house for weeks on end or months on end, and you can see how you deal with it. See how you deal with it. See how you deal being waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning with construction going on at 4 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, construction going on at 9 p.m. at night. They were working from 6 o'clock in the morning till 9 p.m. at night for the past 6 or 7 months. I think the fence and shrubbery could have been done by then when the weather was still warm. You can actually do a fence in the wintertime too, because I've done it. I had to fix my own fence when they broke down part of my fence when they dropped the tree on it. So in the wind knocked over the rest of my fence, and I had to put 4x4 posts up in the winter. So it is possible. I'm sorry that I'm being very emotional, and I appreciate my wife for having the more professionalism of it, but we love our neighbors and we love the neighborhood. We just also want to feel safe too. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your comments. I'll give you an opportunity to respond there if you so choose.
And I don't want to diminish their lived experience. I don't live in the neighborhood. So is it accurate? Likely is. But I'm not a participant in those projects at this point. So I only know, we were here to try to respond with this. I'm again in no way trying to diminish their obviously very emotional experiences of what that is. I'm happy to relay back to the client, that these have to be addressed and any previous zoning conditions need to be met. My thought was that that's an automatic. That would be expected of the client. It's like if this board granted those approvals, then it needs to be followed through. Timing, I can't speak to because I'm not on the contracting side of it. But what I'm taking away is a clear understanding of the frustration of the neighbors at this point. So I'm happy to relay that back. But that was not my role in this project as well. So I feel for their concern. The night that we had the public meeting, we were going out to our cars, and one of the neighbors who had an issue with the gas line said, "Do you smell gas?" And it's like, I do. And literally, I pulled up the number to help her call for First Energy or for Enbridge or whatever. I don't know that it is directly related to the parking lot construction, because I think it was more related to the street reconstruction at this point as well. But again, we were aware, like, these are neighbors, this is their lived experience. We're sympathetic and trying to help. So.
All right, thank you for that. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair, is Ms. Rashida also a representative of the appellant? Maybe she could expand. I think she might be also with the team.
She is. Rashida, do you want to give any additional comments regarding this discussion?
I totally understand their issues and everything, but unfortunately, I don't have any details about those parking lots. I do know, like how JP said, there is time issues that are going on, which should be taken care of soon, as far as I know. But other than that, unfortunately, I don't have any more information about it.
All right, thank you for that, Rashida. Any comments from city planning?
Good morning. My name is Xavier Bay. I don't have many other comments other than was already mentioned. This project has received its approvals through city planning commissions, for the design of the fence and the placement. So we basically align with that approval. I'd say for the neighbors, we definitely hear you, and please try to also communicate through 311 if you haven't already. I know that that's another option to upload videos or images of other issues you experience on the street.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Bay. And is it fair to say that the fence that is proposed here is sort of in keeping with the context of the neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, this whole corridor of Rocky River Drive is a mixed bag between other institutions, residentials, and business uses. City planning's approval was found that this fence is an enhancement to their space and benefits off of building more of that building line throughout the street.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Bay. All right, board, any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Yeah, no, just Madam Chair, I don't know if we asked about the practical difficulty if the variance has been denied.
Yeah, he
Did
did
we
give some
cover
testimony
that?
regarding that, but you can feel free to sort of reiterate that.
Yes, I guess from our perspective, the practical difficulty is that this is something that is both a unifying element, visually, as well as a security element. It does control and limit access to the, this institution to basically two drives, one on Fairville and one on Ferncliff. It replaces an existing fence that at present actually does block some of the view access at the corner. So even our notion of clipping the corners back is an improvement off of, what is now visually a hazardous thing because of the angle of how Rocky River Drive intersects. It comes at an acute angle. It's hard to see past to the north for approaching traffic. So by not granting this, we would also be limiting our ability to improve that visual corridor as well. At the neighborhood forum, there were several neighbors who had expressed a concern for trying to turn south towards the airport at Fairville and not being able to see, approaching traffic if they were going to make a left. This clip corner also addressed that concern. In fact, we pushed it back as a result of those public comments. But our practical difficulty is we would lose the ability to secure it for the children and to replace kind of the secured condition for the playground conditions as well, which is also a licensing requirement for the school as well to have a secured playground. So it would pose a lot more challenges from a practical hardship difficulty. So
Thank you.
All right. I will entertain a motion if there are no other questions.
Madam Chair, motion to approve calendar number 25-2020 based on today's testimony.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Madison. Is there a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Okay, thank you. Can we call the vote?
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-220 is granted. This will be ratified next Monday, and we will send the appellant a letter. You can contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
thank
right.
you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Thank you to those of you online who chimed in today. We appreciate you being here. We're going to move now to the next calendar item, which is 25-221. This is going to be the second call for an owner from DMB Living LLC. Do we have anyone present?
Madam Chair, we received an email from a Rain Tinsley, which states, I'm writing to formally withdraw my appeal regarding the recent decision for zoning appeals. After further consideration, I've decided not to move forward with the appeal process. That is for calendar number 25-221 Edgewood Road.
All right, so calendar number 25-221 is withdrawn. So we'll call the next calendar item, which is 25-225. Is Shantae Williams present or someone on her behalf? What's that? Do we have someone present for 18914 in Vermeer Avenue? All right, we have C. Ware online, and we also have Diane, I think, Bija online. Are either of you here for 13509 Edgewood Avenue?
Yes, I'm here. I'm Sid Ware, CYD, Ware, WARE.
Wait. We haven't gotten there yet. Are you here on behalf of Shantae Williams?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and read in the case then. Ms. Holzer?
Madam Chair, our next case is calendar number 25-225. This is at 18914 Invermere Avenue. Shantae Williams, owner, proposes to erect a 20-foot by 20-foot one-story frame detached gable garage in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda. And my brain just totally shorted out as I was reading that. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Madison for the oath.
Thank you. At this time, we'll swear in all those who are present for this case. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please reply by saying your name, spelling your name for the record, an address, and I do.
Diane Bajay, New Creation Builders, 818 East 73rd Street, Cleveland, Ohio. And I am here to represent the homeowner at 18914 Indermere Avenue.
And can you please reply with I do and spell your name for the record?
I do. B-I-J-A, Diane B-I-J-A.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else who wishes to give testimony in this matter? See Ware, I know that you chimed in earlier. Do you wish to testify here?
No, I just wanted to listen. I have no comment right now.
Okay, if you have comment at any point, now is the time to swear in. Do you believe that you'll have comment later?
No,
Okay, thank you for that.
thank you.
Anyone else present for this matter? All right, we'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1951, a permit was issued to erect a single-family dwelling. 1952, a permit was issued to erect a private garage. And then the most pertinent information in the more recent history is that we do not have any variances on file, and that in September of this year, a permit was issued to demolish a garage on the site. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Can we have legal? Can we have legal, please? Mary, are you with us?
Okay, I could read it in.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary.
Madam Chair, members of the board, the appellant is requesting an area variance from the setback line requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting of the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you for that. We'll now turn to you, Ms. Vijay. You have the floor. Please tell us about your variance request.
Thank you, everyone, for hearing our case. I personally have been before this board several times. I have worked for 18 years in the city of Cleveland. I put out probably 80 garages a year minimum in Cleveland, and I don't understand this variance. The Ohio State Code and Cleveland Code states that I have to have a 3-foot setback from the side and the rear, which I do. So I'm not sure what this variance is even for. Mr. Wells has been very gracious in trying to explain it to me. And Rodney and I get along very well. I do not understand what he's telling me and why this job is different than any other. In the past, the driveway had to be at least 15 feet from the street. We actually have 27. So that wouldn't even affect that setback. So if someone could please explain to me the issue that we're facing here, I appreciate it.
Anyone from the city can chime in on that?
Good morning. This is Xavier Bay with Cleveland City Planning. So the section of the code that you're written up for here is 357.05 B2, and this really speaks specifically to how close the garage is placed to the side street line. And the main reason this one's written up is because it's a corner lot, and so the code here explains that basically on the rear of a corner lot in any use district where the rear lot line of the corner lot is also the sideline of the butt lot in the rear or the boundary line of any alley, of an alley between them, and a setback building line is established for such butt lot, no building shall be erected near to the side street at the rear line of the corner lot than the setback line, building line of the butt lot. It's provided that for each foot the building on the corner lot sets in from the rear lot line or from the center of a rear alley, it may be set 1 foot near to the side street line. And so I guess in layman's terms, it's basically calling out the 27 feet that you're proposing on the rear end of the corner of the lot. And basically the established setback is actually in line with the homes along, I believe this is East street name here, 100th Street, 190th Street, sorry. And so it's primarily because of the setbacks that a building line that was established from the neighboring homes to the south.
Okay, excuse me real quick. We are replacing a garage. that is in this location. We're not proposing anything new here. The existing garage has been there since 1952. I'm putting it in the same place. Now, if the ordinance makes me move it, all I need is for someone to tell me, because no offense, Xavier, you're wonderful. I did not understand a word of that variance. Okay, that 3857.55, I still can't comprehend it. It's very long, very extensive, and very confusing. So if somebody would like to tell me where you want this garage, we'll be happy to move it. But because I don't understand the variance, I don't know what you need. I can't give you more room on the 27 because I have a 3-foot demand on the other side of that. I have 3 feet between that garage and the next lot. If there's an alleyway there, we are not aware of it at all. So if I need to move the garage closer to the house, please tell me in plain English what that setback has to be, and we will move the garage accordingly.
Through the chair, this is Xavier again. There's no room for you to move the garage any further away from 190th Street. And so that's the main reason you're in front of the board today. It's not the distance between your home and the garage, it's in the street.
So then in answer to the original question, my appeal to this is I have a non-conforming lot to put a legal garage on it. I only have, it says I have 50 feet, but if I have a 27 up front and a 20, which is only a 2-car garage, I'm not asking for a 24 or a 30. This is a typical 2-car garage. This customer or this resident is going to be denied the right of a legal size garage.
Well, I think the issue is the placement of the garage as it relates to the street. And it sounds based on, hold on, Ms. Bajay, only one person can talk at a time for the sake of our court reporter. So the issue is you can't place it where legally it is required to be placed, given this code of 357B2. And so because you have no wiggle room there, now your request is to come before this board and get a variance to allow you to build it right where you're building it at. So that is the purpose of this meeting, to just allow you to go forward as you have proposed.
Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, any questions from the board? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Or do you have additional comments, Mr. Bay, about the position of city planning?
Thank you. This is Xavier Bay representing city planning. We're in support here. As the applicant mentioned, the garage is going in practically the exact same place as it was previously, and we don't see any issues that this may cause to neighboring residences or safety to the street.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mr. Bay. All right, back to the board. I will entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, motion to approve calendar number 25-225.
All right, thank you, Mr. Madison. Do we have a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Okay, can we call the vote?
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Mr. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 25-225 is granted. This will be ratified next Monday. We will send the appellant a letter. She can feel free to contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
Merry
right.
Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you, Ms. Bajay. Have a good day.
You too, honey. I would ask
All right.
you to call me.
I'm sorry?
Can I ask the homeowner to call me if she's still on?
Oh, sure.
Thanks.
All right, so that concludes our matters for today. I'm going to now turn to old business. We do have numbers 1, 2, and 12 that are up for ratification. Any objection?
No objection, and it looks like I was not present for number 12. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be, I'm like, I don't even see my name on there. All right, well, these are without objection. So those will be ratified. And that concludes our old business. It is now 11:13 and we are adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.